Welcome to Sunny 𝐒𝐍𝐈 Live. Yes. How do you get the best out of every Nigerian or any Nigerian? Well, if you can get me talking non-stop and making sense, then you're getting the best out of me, I think. But then I have a magazine in front of me, The Peak Performer, and the title of, the main title of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subtitles is Globalization, how Dr. Obadare Peter Adewale is leading the cybersecurity space. Now, wow. And he's a very unassuming man. Now, I have another unassuming person in the studio with me. Well, I've been monitoring him for some years, and he's done some books. I've seen him grow. I've seen him develop. And I must say, I'm enthralled. I like the word enthralled a lot. I have seen him, defy the force of gravity, especially when it pulls you down when others are going up. This is Dr. Abiola Salami. By the way, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. It's great to be here as always.
We agreed there was never going to be any sir in this matter, but let's go on.
That's a very difficult one. I'm a Yoruba boy. No matter where I've been in the world, I'm a Yoruba boy, and based on what my parents taught me, there is a way we address our elders on our continent. And
so how do the elders address the younger ones then?
The elders also address the younger ones in our own special way. And then I shouldn't be answering that question, sir, because you taught us how to do this.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, sir.
I had to think of a befitting title or topic because of the way we've looked at how Nigeria has grown over the years. And of course, recent happenings have also shown that the great people are often not recognized, or when they do so much, people look the other way, or that, no matter how they try, nobody really listens. But it's not always so. Nigerians are good at what they do.
Yes.
And they are assertive, they are creative, and they are restless, they are determined. And you embody all of those points I've just raised. So tell me, how do you manage to just keep carrying on the way you seem to be doing effortlessly?
Not effortless.
Are you sure?
It's not effortless. How have I tried in my attempt to redefine my world, in my attempt to continue to add value?
Add value.
Yes,
that's the word.
Yes, to continue to add
phrase,
value.
Yes.
And for me, it's a commitment, a personal commitment, to knowing that. And I take this inspiration from my first book, released 2012.
What's
the title is Get Mad.
Get Mad.
Yes, sir.
We're going to finish what you're saying before we get mad.
And the central idea in that book, says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. But if we really truly want a different result, we should be willing to apply our competence, character, creativity, compassion, and courage to make a difference. That is where MAD, Get Mad, came from. To make a difference. And so for me, it's always about seeking opportunities to make a positive difference in my environment, in this locality where I stay, in my country, and especially for the continent. So it's that hunger to see things differently, that hunger to engage people, to help them to see, to know better, so they can think better and do better. That's just the drive always.
Know better,
think better, and do better.
Wow.
The place of doing better.
Some good quality there.
Yes, sir. The place of doing better is peak performance. That is where the performance is.
Okay.
But you can't get peak performance until the person thinks right. It is
How
when
do you know you're thinking right?
Good question. And then you cannot think right until you know better. So, which is why it is knowing better, thinking better, and doing better. I mean, we're all a product of nature and nurture. Nature, we look like our parents, and we look like our, people that have existed before us. Nurture, those information and education we picked up from the home, from schools, from the media, and from our religious organizations. And there are many times some of this information we pick up are not helpful for us to live a fulfilling life as we're supposed to, to be global champions, like I describe it. And so the commitment for me personally is to continue to seek opportunities and seek information that can help me first to know better, so I can think better and do better, and extend that to other people to know better, so they can think better and do better.
This is not draft. It's more like chess game that you've been making me go through. Know better, think better. What was the other better again?
Do better.
Do better. Okay. All right. Fine. In Nigeria, do you see that as a norm? Do you see people challenging themselves to the point of wanting to do better, know better, and whatever better? What was the other better?
Yeah. To know better, think better, do better.
Do better.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are there people challenging themselves? Yes. Do we have that in sufficient quantity? No. Because the way the society is fragmented, there are a lot of issues that we're dealing with, as a nation and as a continent. And I'm saying as a continent by extension, because when you say that Nigeria is the most populous black nation, it means that if Nigeria gets things right, by extension, it will impact positively other African countries. And it's because there are people trying their best. There are people who are not trying at all because they don't even know better, right? There are people that their mind have been subjected, to all the negativity around us, and that is why someone said that growing old is compulsory, but growing up is by choice. Growing
old is compulsory. Actually, you have no choice.
You grow old.
Growing up.
But growing up is by choice. And growing up is the place of maturity, mental maturity of the individual. So you can see an 80-year-old that has grown old but may behave like an 18-year-old. The person has grown old, but the person has not grown up. And what makes us really grow up is the content of information that is available to us, that we imbibe, that we study, and we start to act on, which is why it is important for Nigerians and Africans to first know better so we can think better, and then do better. A lot of Nigerians, when they see a white man, for example, they immediately assume that they have nothing. That the white man is better. That the white man is better than them, that they are inferior to the white person. And by the way, this white person may not even be one of the top 1,000 in his country where he's coming from. But
maybe not even top 1 million.
Not even top 1 million. And then, but because of the assumption, because of the thinking, of superiority that they have about the other person.
So it's the mindset now.
The mindset
of that individual.
Which is why knowing better helps to shift the mindset so the person can think better and then do better.
Okay. Brilliant, analogy, I should say. But then, let me quickly acknowledge that I have a regular, I would say, co-host. Actually, she's based in Canada.
Oh wow!
And I can see her pretty face watching us carefully. You're welcome. She's on the Zoom, and those who are joining us on Zoom is ID 850-453-8414, and of course the passcode is SILIVE. That's capital letters SIL, then small letters IVE, SI Live. All right, so feel free to do that, no problem at all. But your magazine says the peak performer, and recently you coordinated, should I say, coordinated? Well, you handled and did an award that brought some 100 people.
Yes, sir.
Thereabout.
Yes.
Together.
Yes.
Based on their performance. And one of them is Dr. Obadare Peter Adewale.
Yes.
Cyber security space.
Yes.
he's leading in that space.
Yes.
He's a very unassuming man. Now, how did you come to choosing these people?
Okay. So I did not choose the 100.
Okay.
I didn't choose the 100. What we did, because in addition to helping people to know better so they can think better and do better, it is important for us to spotlight credible leaders. If we really want to spread greatness on this continent, it is important for us to tell our authentic African story from our perspective by spotlighting credible leaders, people who are striving to know better, who are doing their best to think better, who are delivering excellence by doing better. And that is why we created TPP 100, celebrating highly esteemed executives. So we just throughout the nomination in December of 2022, we had the criteria. We have 27 leadership skills, that we set that people should choose. Nominate people who you have worked with, who you know, and you think they reflect some of these skills, and choose which one of these skills is their top 5, that you admire about them. And then we had thousands of nominations.
You must have done some serious work over the Christmas and New Year.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. Eventually, we printed it down to 1,863 entries. And then from there, we used our internal mechanism, got a jury to sit together and to look at, based on the information available about these individuals and what people have also said in the nomination, and then we narrowed it down to the top 100. So that's how we arrived, at that list.
Okay. Now there's one question that has burnt my mind because of the way I promoted this program. That USA, we have Nigerians in some positions of authority.
Yes.
UK, we have Nigerians also in some positions of authority.
Yes.
And I'm smelling that we also have in Canada.
In
because
Canada.
we have a lot of Nigerians in Canada.
Yes, I have a friend in Canada who is in town. Ayo, in case you are listening to this, Ayo Wodun is his name, who is in Canada, who is a counselor in a city, in a city in Canada. Kitchener, that's the name of that city.
Okay.
I saw him yesterday after like 7 years of that has been away. So yes, there are Nigerians all around, everywhere. And I dare say that an Iowa Duni that won the election in Kitchener in Canada will not likely run in Nigeria and win.
That's it. I was bringing it down to, because we just finished elections in Nigeria, and is fraught with controversy and a lot of issues. Say go to court, sort it out in court. So because it's in court now, we don't need to dwell too much on it. Yes, fine by me. But then, what is wrong with us? Allow me. I'm going to ask you a question very soon because of what they said about Canada. But Abiola, Dr. Abiola, what is wrong with Nigeria? Why are we not emphasizing our best? Why are we not embracing the qualities that we possess? What is happening?
Great. It goes back to the conversation we've been having.
Yeah.
If only our leaders know better, they will think better and do better. If our politicians know better, they will think better about their approach to governance and politics and campaigns, and because they are thinking better, they will do better. And you have a country that doesn't as much recognize the contribution of its citizens as much. I've been in different conversations, and I'm privileged to be because of how I've worked over time. And you see a Nigerian skillful on Nigerian soil, and then some people want to give out some job they're looking for a vendor, and then the Nigeria submits a proposal, and then a non-Nigerian, non-African white person submits a proposal. Before even checking the merit of the proposal submitted by these two individuals, there is a mindset already that the Nigerian cannot fix it, that it's only the white person that can fix it. And I give you a personal example. This happened to us in Champ as a company. Our company, we're a consulting firm, And we offer learning and development programs, training programs, and consulting interventions to help businesses scale. And so this people reached out, a reputable organization in this country, reached out to us to ask us for an intervention.
Okay.
And then they didn't tell us much about it. We told them what we would, our asking price. They cut it down. They just
Why am I
cut it
not
down.
surprised?
And we are used to that. And so, but for us, we are eager to add value. We're eager to see transformation happen within this organization, because we know that when the organization is transformed, all the people in the organization, they are positively impacted, and then all the dependents of the people in that organization as
will
well
also be affected
positively. Yes. So if an organization has 1,000 staff, for example, you can be sure that by extension you are reaching out to 100,000 people, because every one of us, we have 10.
So there's a ripple effect.
So there's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Which is our passion for doing this. And so we delivered on the job, and they came back to say, wow, that they did not know that there's anyone on this continent that could fix the problem they had. And then they confessed that they had gone abroad to look for someone, but the timing wasn't working again for the individual. Sir, I dare say that what the person would have asked for in terms of compensation would have been 100 times what we eventually got from this organization. But we fixed the problem. And I also dare say that the individual will not have the cultural perspective that we have about the issues, because it's on Nigerian soil. And the person can give an overview of what the problem is, but not knowing the nitty-gritty of it. But despite that, we solved the problem in a way that this person from abroad wouldn't have solved it. What we earned wasn't anything close to what the person would have earned.
Okay. The question therefore now is, while we're having 𝐒𝐽𝐻 syndrome, Nigerians are rushing away. Is it because the foreign countries are now recognizing our worth? And so those who 𝐒𝐻, I hope you all know what I'm saying about 𝐒𝐻. Those who 𝐒𝐻 feel that they must have a chance one way or the other. Is that what it is? Anyway, maybe I should call. Allow me. How are you? Are you on the? If you unmute yourself, I want to talk to you. Good afternoon.
I'm here.
Okay, good. You've been listening to us. Are we clear?
Hello, Miss Canada.
Are we clear?
I've been listening.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the question is, I'm taking it to you now. Nigeria, how do you see Nigerians who are getting leverage and opportunities in places like where you are right now?
So how do I see Nigerians getting opportunities?
Yes.
Where I am right now?
Right.
Okay. So how do I see Nigerians
Because
getting
Abiola said there's a
in
counselor
Canada?
in Canada who is a Nigerian.
Yes. Actually, I think I don't know, maybe they call them MP or
Members of
councillor as
Parliament.
well.
Okay. Yeah.
In my city,
Yeah.
the person is 𝐒𝐭𝐚𝐲 in
Okay.
Nigeria.
Meaning there too.
Okay.
So it's a good thing for the purpose of policies formulation. So I think it's good for Nigerians here, because there are things that I see and I'm afraid of the future for the future generation. So I'm like,
Can you share that with
don't
us?
want
There are things you see that you are afraid of for future generation. Can you share that with us?
Yes, I learned that a school principal has to take a seat into the washroom. The washroom is like the toilet. Has to take a seat to the washroom because the students will smoke Indian end.
Oh, no.
That's the only way she can catch them smoking in the washroom.
Oh.
No, that shouldn't be. That's something I'm afraid of when it comes to the future generation.
Okay.
I don't want them to
where did that happen?
comfort-
Did that happen in Nigeria? Did you hear the story about
No,
Nigeria?
in Canada.
In Canada? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So it happened in Manitoba. It
Wow.
happened in Canada. So for things like that, Nigerians here, they want to be sure they have representatives people who can influence the policies that are being formulated. They don't want policies that would destroy the lives of their children. So active participation in politics here is encouraged, highly encouraged. So that's something good. So for Nigerians abroad, another thing is business. I see Nigerians thriving in business. Many African stores, many entrepreneurs springing up by the day. So it's a good thing because the land flows with milk and honey.
I love that. Okay. And well, thank you so much, Abiola. I'm going to ask you to respond to what she just said. But let me quickly recognize Daniel Uche, who is on Zoom, and he's also listening quietly. Well, I'm going to talk to you soon, Daniel. Yes, Dr. Abiola.
Okay, so let me take it from the last statement you made, that the land is flowing with milk and honey. And I just say that Nigeria is also flowing with milk and honey. We have a lot of natural and human resources. The challenge is that we are unable to harness these resources as we are meant to be.
The challenge is we are unable to harness
these resources. And because we...
Whose fault is that?
Okay, I will get there. And because we cannot harness it, some other countries see what we have that we are not seeing, and they grab it. And this is not just about Japa. This has always been, that other countries, other developed countries will see what we have and then they come and take it. Whether it's in form of slave trade that happened many years ago, it's in form of colonialism, it's in form of there are different ways this has happened over time, and it's the same pattern. We don't always see what we have. And somebody said that many times when you don't respect what you have, you will lose it. And that is what is happening to us. So we have capacity. That's why we have Nigerians, we have Africans in different parts of the world who are doing excellent work, who are making great contributions to the GDP of the countries where they are resident, and their contribution is being appreciated. And so the reason we continue to have this Japa syndrome is, one, there are weak institutions that we have, and younger people are saying that, if my education is only in Nigeria, I may not be able to play on the world scale, on the world stage.
So that limiting factor, he doesn't want to enjoy, suffer it.
He doesn't want to suffer it, that limiting factor. The other one is, even for those who are educated in Nigeria or who schooled abroad, who came back, who are making great strides, how much of appreciation do they get? Rather, we have many cases of people, instead of being appreciated, they are being discouraged. We have institutions that are not supporting businesses. We have laws that are not supporting entrepreneurs. People need funding for their businesses. You have to go through the eye of a needle, or except you are the son of somebody, or the daughter of somebody, or the relatives of somebody somewhere. And so these are the reasons young people are considering their options in other places, and any opportunity they have, they go get it. You asked a very important question, that whose fault is this?
Yes.
I believe that everything rises and falls on leadership. So we will begin.
Well, what about the man who is in his bedroom feeling uninspired because he's blaming the world for his woes? Why should that be leadership fault?
Okay, so this example you cited now is not in the majority in this conversation.
Okay.
This example is valid. It is valid, but it's not in the majority. The government can do better. The government can do better in terms of harnessing the resources that we have, and particularly the human resources that we have,
which we have in abundance.
And when people don't see hope where they are, they look for hope somewhere else. So one of the things the government need to heavily invest into is injecting hope in the people. And I know we will be having a new administration, and I hope that someone in the close to the new administration is listening to this conversation. That one of the critical things that we need to do is inject hope. And injecting hope is not just about talking about it; it's about building institutions and showing proof that there is tangible reason for for people to stay back and grow this country, for us to be an exporter, not just exporter of oil, we can also export our human resources. And it should be a conscious, deliberate, policy-driven activity. Japa in itself is not a bad thing, but it's something that the government can leverage, to even grow our revenue as well. Now, let me give it.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Don't remember that. But there was a time government encouraged this Japa syndrome that you're talking about. They encouraged people they even gave them scholarship to go to universities abroad.
Yes.
In the 70s, 80s, So some didn't come back, but they carried on well for us.
Yes.
Yes, sorry, you were trying to say something.
Yes, so it's a great thing, like you said, that there was a time the government even encouraged people, to go out to be good ambassadors of the country.
Yeah.
Even if you've gone to study anywhere in the world, you don't necessarily need to come back. You can be there adding value and as a Nigerian, to be a good ambassador of Nigeria. So another way the government can do this, just imagine that we decide that Nigeria will be the capital, the world capital for hospitality or for education or for health. And then so what we do is that every year we train 100,000 doctors, and then we export that to the world.
Well, the world is already taking our doctors away from us.
Yes, but the world is
Saudi
taking,
Arabia.
they've all, Saudi Arabia, Germany, the US, Canada. They are taking, but we can be deliberate with this and develop their capacity and see it as a policy point and use it as a tool for negotiation, even in the international community, that we have competent medical officers. We have the most competent in the world, and we're exporting them to everywhere in the world.
The
to
Indians
add
have
value.
been doing.
The Indians are doing.
Silicon Valley and all
yes,
that.
they're doing it with tech. They're doing it with medicine.
Daniel Uche, if you are on Zoom, can you respond? I want to ask you a question. Daniel? Hello, Daniel Uche. How are you? You're on Sonny Rabo Live through Zoom. Talk to us. Okay. While he makes up his mind, there's something that struck me, which is you wrote the book Mad. Then you now wrote another emotionally intelligent.
The magic of emotional intelligence.
The magic, yes, I mustn't forget that. The magic of emotional intelligence. Do you agree that Nigerians are very emotional, by nature anyway?
Well, we have a lot of things triggering our emotions. You don't have access to power. You don't have access to good roads, and then you finally saved money to buy this car, and then you're driving it on a road that is bad, and the car whose lifespan is supposed to be, let's say, 5 years or 6 years or 10 years, then the lifespan is maybe 4 years, and then you take it to the roadside mechanic who has his own issues, who has his own issues, who's probably not as trained, who have his own issues, and then back and forth you keep going back. And then why wouldn't that trigger anger? Why would that trigger sadness? Why wouldn't that trigger depression? So we're saying that there are a lot of things happening in our society, that will trigger some of these emotions. But what we need to do, no matter what the trigger is to be in control of our emotions.
How we react to
it, very important. And this conversation is not in any way finger pointing, or blame fixing. What we want to do is for every one of us to take personal responsibility for the productivity and peace of this nation.
If you were invited, for example, to say US or Europe or even Brazil, to say, okay, Dr. Abiola Salami, because of what you've done, we would like you to come and join us in our effort to put so and so together, will you grab at it?
So, because I will be an ambassador of Nigeria and an ambassador of Africa there, and I will solve the problem they've placed in front of me to solve. And that is what we should all be doing. We should all continue to learn so that we can know better, so we can think better and do better anywhere we find ourselves in the world.
Will you go for the merits of it, or you will go for the commerce of it, the financial value of it?
Both. I will do both.
Okay.
Yes, I will do both.
Are you being honest?
Yes, because also for any idea you have, for anything you're doing, you want to think of the sustainability of that. How do you sustain it? A great thing is not a great thing because it has happened once. It is a great thing because you can sustain it. You can continue to do it. My mentor, Dr. Christopher Kolade, once shared something with me that he was at a retreat many years ago, and the global CEO of the company he was CEO for then asked the question that why are we in business? And everybody gave different kinds of responses to make profits, to solve the problem of the world, different kinds of things. And the global CEO said that we are in business so that we can remain in business.
We're in business so that we can remain in business. Well, that's true,
Sustainability.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more. Leave a comment and like. Thank you.